Yeah, so how do you deal 60 damage here without dying? I don't think you can.
No, I don't think. And
Oh
there's
yeah, there's
Shredder.
shredders too.
More frontline health. Yeah, it's over. Crash is just being stubborn. Breach proof. There it is.
I feel like Arca could probably just mash the spacebar and still win.
So there's what 26 games left till the grand finale, the end of everything.
Yeah, and I think Crash is 22 games in the lead. So
Yeah, Arca has to go undefeated the rest of the way.
If Arca loses 3 more games, he's done.
Oh, Hannibal Rush. I like it.
Oh, it's the chrono filter Hannibal.
There it is.
Yeah, for player one.
The first Hannibal, like super fast Hannibal we've seen.
Now just watch. Hannibal will lose. Llama will cry.
So, what do you think of not having gotten the conduit here and instead, set up for, at least a blast forge to get a flame?
I would have gone Tarsier, Flame Animus, Drone that turn.
Yeah.
Can you Redeemer? Oh, no. He got the Gauss Cannon. If he didn't Gauss Cannon, he could have got Redeemer and it would have been great.
He can blast forge next turn and try and get Arca off of the chrono filter.
Yeah, that's an option. But he looks like he's just putting out damage.
Yeah, I think Arca would be good.
Arca would be good because he'd have... well, the thing is the Hannibal's already defending against 7, so the Arca's prompt defense is kind of useless.
Yeah.
With Hannibals. So maybe Arca's a little bit worse than it normally is. If you're not the Hannibal player, then Arca's great.
That was nice. The Redeemer against 7 damage.
Yeah.
Good use.
With 2 Hannibals on D. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put Crash in an awkward spot.
Ooh. Ouch.
I was gonna
But he
say
can't
I thought Crash was ahead, but that was kind of rough. Although Crash gets
Yeah,
a
but the
counter breach
Redeemer,
in.
he needed to protect his Redeemer.
He could have left a Hannibal back and still
He should definitely leave a Hannibal back here.
breached.
No, it's just like...
Okay, well now I have no idea who's winning. I think probably
I think
Crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Crash always
Yeah.
has the option to start leaving Arca behind and just building behind his Arca, and it's going to be too hard for Arkanishu to get through it.
Well, there you go, Llama. Your early Hannibal didn't win him the game.
Yeah, I would have played it differently though.
Yeah, Llama's like, I would have played it better. Even in Bullet, I would have played it better.
Maybe not in Bullet. No, well, my early game plans in Bullet are not that bad. It's just like once I have to click a ton of units, then I can't do it.
What I would have done if I was really chasing down fast Hannibal would been to try to get to 10 drones, and just the Blast Forge and Flame Animus felt better than Chrono. Right?
Yeah.
And then just Hannibal, off of Blast Forge, Flame Animus.
Yeah,
versus...
as player one, wait, that doesn't work anymore, right? That's why it got moved to 10. You can't Flame Animus rush bulls.
Oh yeah, Flame Animus Bull Rush was the thing that we specifically targeted with the nerf.
Yeah.
Nerf, quote unquote.
You can, you can still get
that nerfs one specific rush.
The burf.
Yeah, the burf. I like that term.
I mean, it's almost entirely it. It's one gold, but you get a health and you get damage. You get an extra damage every time you defend with it. So.
Well, we actually felt the unit was pretty weak. Like the property that Hannibal had, the old Hannibal had, was that it was by far strongest early in the game and just got worse and worse as the game went on, except in a few niche situations, which were less common than the ones with Shredder.
I think it was good when your when you could
When you could
when
fit
your
it in.
opponent could attack it with 6 damage and you still get absorbed. I think it was good.
Yeah, but it's a very specific
Like
situation.
it was. I think it was one of those units that there's like 1 or 2 turns of the game where it's good to buy it, and in order for it to be good to buy during those turns, you must have prepared very carefully for it.
Well,
I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
no, it seems like a reasonable. Again, Hannibal wasn't being purchased a whole lot back in the day, was it? It just was kind of. Do you have stats? Has Hannibal purchase increased since the change?
I haven't looked. I could ask the guy who does our stats, but I cannot tell you right now.
Right now, that's fine. No, I was just curious if it's actually seen an increase in uptick in usage
Yeah.
with the modification. It's a really good just sync now too. Like as far not sync, but like it's a good like just to buy for defense at 10 with 7 health.
Like
Definitely has
one
that.
thing, one thing is a long time ago when we had frontline units, we had no idea how to price them. Basically, like we knew frontline was an interesting ability. We wanted to have it in the game, but we didn't really know how to price frontline units or how they should be. And I think Shredder at one point was like a 1.5, and Shredder Rush just like literally won. So we were always afraid that if we costed them too aggressively, then they would be OP. And I think since then we learned a lot more about kind of what works and what doesn't in getting frontline units to behave. Like Wild Drone was the first frontline unit, and it's definitely really fascinating. And I think from there we just kind of fell in love with the mechanic. But it's like, you know, I think Iceblade Golem is the unit that people disagree the most about whether or not it's too strong or too weak, and it's a very
Definitely
difficult
OP
unit
in
to
bullet.
use.
It's definitely a being bullet. Yeah, no, Icebait's not an easy unit to use well. I mean, or to use like identifying a situation in which Iceblade is the winner is not always the easiest thing.
It's really
But
hard
yeah,
to play
but
against.
I think even as developers, we've learned so much about frontline as a mechanic and how to better design units using it and how it
So
sort
are
of
we going to
behaves.
see more frontline units? We haven't seen a whole lot of
There's definitely, I'm trying to think what's coming. There's definitely one.
because
um,
I mean there hasn't been
So,
an
okay,
introduction.
here's a
of
combo that we have not released a unit yet, which is a frontline plus lifespan, and we actually had like 3 of them in our sort of dev set, and we haven't released any of them yet. But frontline plus lifespan creates really weird situations because, like, as the lifespan ticks down, you less and less want to like frontline kill the
Attack
unit. You
it.
just want to let it
Yeah.
die instead.
Interesting.
And yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff.
Huh.
That game was just like an Amperilla steamroll.
Yeah, Amperill's pretty good.
I didn't say a thing about that game, but
No, it's fine. We were talking about more important things than like their how many. This was their 276th game. They have 24 more to go. These,
Oh man, Apollo's such a
well,
bully.
I think with that game, Crash officially won.
yes, Crash has
series.
won this series. They're just being gentlemen and living up to their bargain of playing 300 games.
So it looks like they're both going crazy econ. I always find these like early militia mirrors interesting because neither player wants to wall, but then the militias just end up attacking.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's incorrect to buy the wall against the first militia, though. I think you're better off purchasing your own militia than you are buying a wall against one militia.
Yeah.
Once they purchase their second militia, though, it kind of becomes more of a issue. And militia's so good now against Apollo.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can't snipe it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Significantly better than it used to be. I like the militia change too. So, what other breach-proof units can we look for in the future? Since I'm waiting for this release.
Yeah, well, there's another big ass breach-proof econ unit, and it's crazy. It's like on the order of how many drones you got to sack, like 3
No,
or
it's
5
like
or something. It's like
it's
a
like an
big,
absurd amount.
yeah, and it has some crazy ability that like morphs between green and gold. So I think it
Sounds
produces
fun.
some green and gold, but you can also convert the greens to golds. And oh yeah, and it has a longer build time. It's an econ unit with build time 2, which we have not released anything of that nature yet. So
Yeah, all econ units have been available the following turn, right?
because it really annoys people when they
Zamora.
like have an econ unit of long time. I guess Zamora is the exception, but
Yeah.
and we're going to do a 1/2 Xeno Guardian. We've had one actually for a long time, but like literally there was some design contest by the players, and the unit they wanted most was a 1/2 Xeno Guardian, which
Yeah.
we've had for a while, and we never really put it forward. But we're gonna try it. The reason it's annoying, and I think people who are participating in that poll didn't necessarily predict this. It's annoying because sometimes your shield number isn't really what you're defending for, because you really don't want to lose the 1/2 defenders.
Yeah.
So it can create a little bit of a user interface headache, but I don't know. We'll deploy it and see what people think.
So
Oh, he didn't
by
kill Apollo.
1/2 you mean 1 attack, 2 defense,
Yeah,
absorber, Xeno Guardian, hanging
Yep.
out in the front.
yeah. Just literally the same unit as Xeno, except 1 attack,
Just
2
half.
HP, and I think the version we're going to do comes with a pixie. So, but that's mostly not that relevant. It's mostly just kind of for flavor reasons, and to add
Yeah.
more comes with a pixie units because they're always fun on blue.
And Arkanishu gives up.
Yeah, breach proof doesn't work. It's not efficient enough in that set, I think.
You can't really go streak against Matrix. And when you buy Apollo.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
Crash has challenged me for the 3rd time.
Crash has challenged you for the 3rd time?
Yeah. Because
Because
I'm
your
right,
name
I'm
is
right above
alphabetically-
Arkanishu.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I got you. I was like, what do you mean?
For the first 10 hours of this, he was just clicking the first person on his friends list probably, and now he has to go down one.
Yeah, because you're signed in. Go sign into base set so he doesn't have such a hard time, man.
Oh wow, Crash let the full 10 seconds tick down. He's planning
He was
something
thinking about
crazy.
this one. And you just go.
He's going triple NG. I think, is he going big blue? Is this Drake in defense grid?
Yeah, Drake. and
Looks
Defense
like
Grid.
it.
Darn.
Nothing exciting.
Well, I don't think there's anything too crazy to do in this set. I mean, there's cryo rays.
Yeah.
Cryo rays are always a thing.
So, what's correct for Arkanishu here? Is it to get defense grid, or is it to get the following Drake?
Defense grid.
Right? Because if you go defense grid, then you can just Drake, right? Isn't the
Yeah,
whole
pretty
point
much.
for the second person who's getting Drake to defend and so that they can get the back-to-back Drakes?
Because the first Drake doesn't do too much.
Yeah.
He's actually holding 2 drones back. I wonder if Crash is going to try to blow some Drakes. Because this is the defense grid turn, and there's Polywall in the set, so you really don't need 3 Blast Forces unless you want to get a 3rd Drake. And maybe you do. But this could be a good turn to pop the Drakes, especially if you're going to kill 2 drones out of it. But I guess he needs to leave the steals on defense too while he gets the defense grid.
Yeah. So again, could Arkanishu have been purchasing his? Well, no, he'd be purchasing his second Drake right now. So I guess it's not that great.
So here, Crash is actually... He's blowing the 2 Drakes, although he did benefit from being able to wall instead of Polywall, because his opponent was attacking for 6 with 2 Drakes. So I guess with Drakes, even though your opponent's attack potential is like 11, you really don't want to Polywall because their
Yeah,
genuine
'cause
attack
6 is so
like
perfect.
6.
Arkanishu has 7 credits, which is pretty important.
Yeah.
Although it might not be enough. Oh, okay, he got another Drake. So
I feel like
think
Arkanishu
is
is
ahead.
strictly ahead. His
now
defense
that he's
grid's
got these
up for
cryos.
lifespan. He's 3 drones behind.